I want to start off the second part of the video for chapter 8 on the tank. So that's your rock anemone right there. That's what we're talking about. So you see that opening in the middle? That's the mouth. Okay. And I wanted you guys to see the shape. Fishies are doing great. I haven't had a chance to clean the tank, so forgive me. And I want you to see the tank is just turning on, so the corals are not fully open, but they are doing great. They are doing great, including all the ones you guys fragged. Todd's doing awesome. I will clean the tank and I will do a better video. But that coral right there, that toadstool, oh man, I wish y'all had seen him yesterday. He was doing great. They're doing awesome. Everybody's doing great. These corals are opening up. Fishies are doing fine. Right now they're just looking at me going, feed us instead of doing the video. Everybody's doing great. I'm going to go back to the front. All right. Coral animals, right? Corals are definitely an animal. There we go. All right, so their polyps are going to secrete a skeleton. Depending on the type of coral that we're talking about, you're either going to have a large skeleton like this, or you might have a very small skeleton with a large polyp. This right here is the leftover of a skeleton, and the polyp might have been this tall. It just depends. Then you also have, of course, brain coral, where the polyp is only about that tall. Okay? Polyp secretes a skeleton. The scleractinian corals, also known as hard corals, produce a skeleton of calcium carbonate, from which they form reefs, the most important habitat in the ocean, the rainforest of the ocean, right? Soft corals, just like this. We have several soft corals in our tank. We've got the devil's hand. We have Brady's not awake. The green one in the middle. I'll do a cool thing with the tank and I'll go over everything. I'm just not in this right now. These polyps that form plant-like colonies are known as plant-like, but it's still an animal, known as octocorals, 8 tentacles instead of 12 or more in the other coral species. That's your leather corals, your sea fans. Really, really neat stuff. That's what we mainly have in our tank. They're easier to maintain, I'll be honest. Gastrovascular cavity, digestion and transport. The waste will come out of the mouth. We know that, we've seen that. Jelly and boxes for jellyfish are very carnivorous. Sea anemones generally feed on invertebrates. Some large species will feed on the fish. And here's a life cycle. They have an asexual polyp stage and then a sexual medusa stage, where they release the sperm and the egg in the open ocean, in the water column. Scyphozoans, mature medusa releases the gametes into the water when the fertilization occurs. Sea anemones, asexual reproduction is very common. They'll split in half. Sometimes they will undergo sexual reproduction, male or female forms, the gametes released in the water. Planula, larval stage again. There's very much a predatory-prey relationship. Cnidarians are predators. Some sea turtles, as we know, some fish and other mollusks will prey on the hydrozoans and the jellyfish. It is very much a habitat formation. Coral polyps will form 3D structures, i.e. the reef, provide a solid surface for attachment, and places for pelagic animals to rest. So remember, pelagic is open ocean, right? To hide, to buffer waves and storms. Okay, Portuguese man-o-war and man-o-war fish will actually have a symbiotic relationship. The Portuguese man-o-war will swim around, and the man-o-war fish kind of have a relationship like clownfish and sea anemones. They will not be impacted, and they'll just kind of swim together. Corals and zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae, that's the bacteria that lives inside the corals, symbiotic relationship. Zooxanthellae is protected, obviously, by the coral. At the same time, they provide food because they undergo photosynthesis for the coral. Sea anemones, clownfish, obviously we know this one. And then some hermit crabs actually will walk around with some sea anemones on their backs. Kind of neat. All right, section 4. CTs, these guys are called ctenophores. Okay, so the C silent ctenophores. They're planktonic. They're nearly transparent. I'm pretty sure I told you about these guys. These are called they're sea snot and or comb jellies, and they will. We were diving in the water in Galveston. We were right off the pier. We were not even in 10 feet of water. There was no visibility whatsoever. I told you guys about the story. Remember? And all of a sudden, I had this bioluminescent rainbow light up literally right here in front of my face. Now there was no visibility. I could barely see my hand. Okay, the visibility was just horrible. So to see a rainbow almost right out of the movies, and I was like, what? And it was a comb jelly, one of these. And there's a video that's going to be coming up, and it was just so cool. And I started playing with it in the water, and it was just really, really neat. So anyways, they're only about that big. Also called sea snot, like I said. Lots of funky common names to them. They're fun. They have definitely radial symmetry. They don't have stinging cells, sorry, and they're very much bioluminescent. And you can find them anywhere from the deep depths of the ocean to, like I said, 10 feet of water right off the docks. Digestion and nutrition. They feed on plankton, larval fish and eggs, branched tentacles to capture prey. Most are hermaphroditic. Their ecological role is they can affect the zooplankton abundance directly and fish population by preying on fish larvae and eggs. Ooh. Be interesting to see if maybe this would be something that could be used in red tide explosion. I just thought of that. Huh. Who knows? Should have thought of it sooner. Sorry. Evolution of bilateral symmetry. Like I told you guys before, this was a huge evolutionary bump. When we started having bilateral symmetry in animals, this was really, really big, okay? It allowed for streamlining body shape, cephalization, so we're talking about now we have more of a head, separation between the head and the rest of the body. So now we've got more distinction, better mobility in the animal. Very, very, very important things. We're down to 12 slides, guys, and then we're done with this one. So flatworms, bilateral symmetry. We're talking about tubularian flatworms, so flatworms found inside of a tube, flukes, tapeworms. These guys are mostly pelagic, open ocean. They have sensory receptors to detect light, chemicals, movement, and to maintain balance. Flukes have a very complex life cycle, that's putting it mildly. Tapeworms will live in the host digestive tract. Their reproduction, they can reproduce asexually by breaking off, or sexually by producing few eggs. Some, though, can produce anywhere from 10 to 100,000. Their ecological role is tubularians will funnel nutrients to higher trophic levels. Some are parasitic. They regulate population size by lowering the fitness of the host, right? Breathing when you reach carrying capacity, war, famine, disease. That would fall into the disease category. Okay, section 7 are ribbon worms. Phylum Nemertea. They capture prey with their proboscis. Remember proboscis, a weird extended nose-like structure. They prey on organisms for higher. They're prey organisms for higher consumers, so they're lower on the food chain. They burrow in sediments to move nutrients to the surface. So they help with nutrient recycling. They can serve as habitat. Lophophorids. Lophophore, hook-shaped structure with ciliated tentacles around the mouth. You'll see more examples of that. The three phyla for Lophophorids are Phoronida, Ectoprocta, and Brachiopoda. And you see right there, there's Lophophore right there. This structure. This is what allows them to feed, okay? Is you create a tube of leathery protein or chitin. They'll catch plankton and detritus. Thanks, Lophophore. Bryozoans, super small little organisms down here at the bottom. They'll live in colonies on rocks, shells, algae, mangroves. One of the most abundant marine epiphytes. An epiphyte means it grows on another organism, but it's not parasitic. Okay? The colonies are composed of zooids. And then we've got our bryozoans. Oh, sorry. The larvae are planktonic. They settle to form new colonies. And then finally, we've got our brachiopods. Most brachiopods are benthic. They live on the bottom, benthic bottom. They live in shallow water. They've got a mollusk-like bivalve shell. They'll gather detritus, algae with lophophores. Again, there's that lophophore, that's that extension, right? In order to catch food. As a group, they are filter feeders. They are food for many invertebrates, especially mollusks and crustaceans. They're largely responsible for the fouling of the ship bottoms. Remember, fouling means that they grow on the bottom of the boats, which means they cause huge drag, make it difficult for the boats to travel fast. And we are finished with chapter 8. Oh, before I shut off, there's some stuff I want to show you guys. Some cool shells I didn't show you guys. So here's a fossilized nautilus. Thought that was really neat. You see the fossilized chambers, right? Boom. This right here is an abalone shell. That's the inside of it. There's that beautiful mother of pearl. And this is what we call a pin shell. Super thin. I found this on our very beaches. They've got teeth-like structures. They're not real teeth, it's protective. Look at this type of bivalve with all these growths on it to protect it, right? Starfish tries and eat him, whoo, it'll hurt. I want to say that my dad got this one in Indonesia, or it's from Indonesia, I should say. He got to go to Madagascar a long time ago and brought me back a lot of cool shells, and luckily I was able to keep them all these years. Here's that cool shell right there. I just want to show them to y'all. You've probably seen one of these before. And I love this one. This one's from the Philippines. Woo. Still to this day, this one smells so bad. All right. Okay, guys. Miss you like crazy. Take care. Be safe. Bye.